I'll be honest, I did not expect to do a follow-up video shortly after the initial BR changes for, I said August of 2023, but I guess it's for July, it says right here. Although we're not going to call it that because we are in August and this update should be dropping a little bit later this month if everything goes the way it should. But welcome back to yet another Talking Head video, but this time I'm only going to be mentioning the changes Gaijin has made within the last 24 hours. This is likely going to change further as time moves on because many of you have been using the forums to very good effect. I've been reading a lot of comments from you guys saying, why isn't this here? Why is this like this, etc. And Gaijin has very much been listening to us, which is kind of unusual to really say, seeing that they have a really bad rap of not doing that. But ever since the review bombings happened, Gaijin has changed a lot of their tone, so everything worked out for the best. But again, with that being said, let's go over some of the changes, shall we? Also, if you do want to see the previous video where I do go into detail about all the upcoming changes, you're more than welcome to click this little card right up here, which will take you to that previous one, which has gotten nearly 1,000 comments. That is the most comments I've ever gotten on any video. You guys are awesome for that. Thank you so much. So let's get started. First on the list, we have, well, Gaijin being super organized. Check this out. Everything in blue and in red. Blue is what they added, also what they changed, and red is what they've taken away. Now, starting at the very beginning, we have the Abo 74, the Fiat, and the C13T90. Those were added, and those are going up from 6.3 to 6.7 and 6.7 to 7.0 respectively. I didn't expect that, to be honest, but this is just making that much more of a drastic change, even more drastic. I think I should have started with that first. And then going down the list a little bit, we have the FV4202, which was added, and that is moving up to battle rating 7.3. Kind of a disappointment in my opinion, but hey, I will take it. And then if we go down just a little bit more, the T29 was removed from this list. That's right, it is no longer going to be getting any more changes. I, for one, agree with this because the T29 isn't any better than the 6.7 T34 unless they move that up, and I haven't played in a hot minute. I don't see too much of a difference with it, in truth, although I don't have the vehicle. They get destroyed the exact same way, and I see them being played in pretty much the same fashion. So seeing that removed, very nice. And then going down the list even further, we have the ZBD86, which is the Chinese BMP, and the German BMP. This also applies to the Russian BMP one as well, which I will skip over once we get over to that bit. They are moving up from battle rating 7.3 to 8.0. I don't really understand this one too much because the ZBD has a tandem warhead mouse-guided missile that is absolutely absurd, so I understand why that's going up to 8.0. But the German and the Russian BMP-1 have the same ATGM that pens up to 600 millimeters non-tandem, and it's also going up to the exact same battle rating. I guess I can understand it. The missiles aren't really everything, but you would be surprised how well the ZBD's missile tracks compared to tow missiles. It's actually really freaking good. And the next one, this one was a huge comment in my previous video. Where is the Raken Ataman? How come that's not moving up, but the USH is moving up, so on and so forth, right? Well, Gaijin heard you. 7.3 to 8.0. That's a good thing. So there you go. If we go down a little bit more, you'll see the BMP. And then if we go down just a little bit further, you'll see the Swing Fire and the Raken Jagdpanzer 2. I guess not the hot version. That'll be a little bit later down the list. Moving up from 7.7, both of them to 8.0. These missile carriers are kind of difficult to play nowadays. I haven't really touched them too much, so I can't really put too much input on it. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I am kind of in the middle ground where it doesn't really affect me too much, but I'm curious on your guys' thoughts. And going down the list way further now, I mean, we skipped a lot of vehicles. We have the UDES going up from 7.7 to 8.3, but it's also getting the RB55C, which I believe is the TOW 2 missile as opposed to the original TOW. I can agree with this to some extent, but I'll wait to see that in game. But as you can see the list right here, there's a lot of vehicles coming in. The ITPSV, excuse me, it's hard to say that like 10 times fast. Many of you were complaining in the previous video that it wasn't being added, even though the part and everything is going up. Well, Gaijin heard you, and it's now going up to 8.7. The Raken Yak Panzer 2 Hot is going up to 8.3. It used to sit there in the past, but now it's moving up back to 8.3 from 8.0. I don't know what the reasoning is for that, but then again, this is a decompression from the World War II environment to the Cold War early to mid environment. And then we have the rest of the missile platforms, every single one that was sitting at 8.0, from the Sheridan, the M60, the Hot, the Accra, M901, and the M113A1 TOW. Those are all going up to battle rating 8.3. Again, this is a huge decompression for World War II, at least I think it is anyways, so I don't mind seeing those at 8.3. Now, this one, I don't agree with. I don't. Okay, I'm going to be very adamant about it. I don't. Gaijin, please. The Warrior from 8.0 to 8.3. It's not a good vehicle. I'm sorry. It's all right. I've gotten nukes with it. Don't get me wrong. But it is one of the most frustrating vehicles to really play with that thumping autocannon with crap post-pen effect and that missile that is now just that much more difficult to use. I mean, it is hilarious how bad the Warrior is. Please don't mind the background noise. I forgot to mute my phone. The Warrior, 8.3. I don't agree with it. But then again, they also moved up the CM25 from 8.3 to 8.7. It does have TOW-2B missiles, so I guess that kind of makes sense. And again, we have more missile carriers being moved up as well. The IT-1, which was a surprise to me at the very beginning, it was a huge surprise that I didn't see it. It is moving up from 8.3 to 8.7. The IT-1 works very well. Not as good as it used to, but it's still a brilliant vehicle. The Mephisto going up to battle rating 9.0 from 8.3. I don't agree with that because the missiles on it are very weird, where the missile likes to hit the dirt before it does anything. It's weird. It drops and then the motor kicks on. You have to play it to understand it, really. I might have a review video talking about it at some point later on. And then we have the ZT3A2 from 8.3 to 8.7. The Bill and the Sturm all going up to 8.7 from 8.3. I agree with it. The Sturm is a low-key SPAA and it's very nice, although it is much more difficult to use because, again, of those missile changes. And then we have the AFT-09 going up to 9.0. It took Gaijin that long to do that for the AFT. It should have been there at the get-go. And for the next one, we have the Leopard 1A5. Gaijin decided to leave no stone unturned. They are moving this up to battle rating 9.3 from 9.0. I expected that. The Italian Leopard 1A5, I think, is the best one of the bunch because it has a laser warning receiver, which is very, very nice. The 64A is going up to 9.3. And then this is one that also made a lot of people very upset in my previous video. The Strela is moving up to 9.3 from 9.0. It makes sense, right? I mean, if the Ocelots and whatnot are going up to 9397, this makes sense because this thing is a sleeper. I'll have a video on this a little bit later. It's still in the works right now. It's kind of hard to play it because there's always another SPA that outdoes you. More info on that a little bit later. And then we have the Chrysanthema from 9.3 to 9.7. Again, this is affecting all the missile carriers, I think, around this BR. And then we have the last. Now, this goes up to top tier. The Merkava Mark 3D, the 3B, the M1A1, the Merkava Mark 3C, IPM1, the UM2, and the Swedish Squadron T80U are all going up to battle rating 11.0. The Mark 3D used to sit at 10.0, and it's kind of a disappointment to me. But then I completely understand it because the Merkavas did get a mobility buff fairly recently where they can now actually reverse appropriately. As for the rest, I understand it unless we get maybe battle rating 12.0 for tanks. I can only well imagine that's what's possibly going to happen. And that's it. That's all the changes we're getting. I did want to make a second video on this simply because these are some pretty drastic changes coming. I mean, I think the entire upper BR environment is getting moved up away from the World War II stuff, which is very nice. The Tiger 2s are now going to be very much decompressed. 6.7 and 7.0 is going to feel a lot better than what it has been as of late, because let's be honest here. Who likes to fight against BMP 1s in Tiger 2s? They're fun to fight against in the sense that they pop very well and they're easy to kill, but those heat slingers, man, they can make your World War II experience just that much more of a miserable thing. Because come on, most of these tanks that are moving up were designed to destroy that specific tanks because those vehicles were used as practice targets. But with everything, as always, if you want some things to change, use the forums, speak up, don't sit back and just complain about certain things happening. You have the power to change it as the community. Go to the forums, let them know what you think. And that's really it. I hope you guys did enjoy this updated video of the talking head talking about, of course, the BR changes. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section as always, and please keep things very civil. I mean, you guys have been awesome about it, so hell yeah. And I look forward to definitely hearing your guys' opinion. And also, if you want to see the gameplay you saw in the background live, feel free to check out my live streams over on Twitch as per usual. And if you want to support me as a creator, use my 3% discount link. It is the easiest thing you can do if you buy anything at the War Thunder store. Save money, I get paid. What's not to love? But anyways, again, thank you so much. I will see you not only in the next video or even the streams, but most certainly in another talking head video if Gaijin does any more drastic changes. Maybe. Let me know in the comment section. I'll consider it. See you next time.